did my feelings toward cars change from hate to love? First of all, don't say that poverty limits imagination. You're the one who's poor. Even if you're rich, motion sickness isn't solved without surgery. I've long since moved past wanting to drive spaceships. I've been dreaming of teleporting to other universes. Not poor anymore, huh? When I was young, saying I hated cars with a passion would be an understatement. I lived in a city where the painful summer lasted only 2 to 3 months a year, yet cars were parked everywhere, making walking difficult. And then there was the smell of gasoline, which I despised the most. Over the years I got used to the smell, but that doesn't mean I accepted it. Then there was motion sickness, not just from the shaking but also the gas fumes, with the former being worse. Either way, it was suffering. Back then, I didn't know much about cars, but I did know one thing. Aside from blocking roads, parking difficulties were a huge problem. Even getting a driver's license and undergoing inspections felt like an unbearable hassle to me, let alone traffic jams. Car enthusiasts might argue, I don't find parking difficult. I live in a small town. But who can stay smug when stuck in traffic for hours? And one last factor. If you're a member of a high-end club for the wealthy, would you enjoy having some nouveau riche demolitions tycoon join in? They may be as rich as you, but clueless about everything else. That's exactly my point. How many people buy cars just to show off? At least where I come from, that's common. True car enthusiasts disdain being in the same circle as such shallow people. It's like how owning a Galaxy phone isn't about flaunting wealth, while the iPhone crowd inevitably includes some uneducated people with too much money, but no class. Their point. The shortcomings of traditional cars were completely overturned by electric vehicles, EVs. Problems like traffic jams, the smell of gasoline, and even driver's licenses might all be improved. Imagine going to a crowded mall and spending ages looking for parking. I wouldn't want my wife and kids happily heading off to have fun while I waste 10 to 30 minutes hunting for a spot. You can have automated parking. As for traffic jams, while they won't go away, at least there's autonomous driving. No more exhausting commutes. No more gas smells. I used to cover my nose and mouth whenever a big vehicle drove by. With EVs, that's no longer necessary. Once full self-driving becomes reality, maybe driver's licenses won't even be needed anymore, or at least the process will be simplified, just like accountants no longer need to pass abacus exams. What about boring red Ferraris, Maseratis, and all those fancy cars? Forget them! Before I learned about Tesla, I only knew about the Santana 2000 and 3000, plus brands like Nissan and Hainan Mazda. But I could never remember them. What are these things anyway? Old-fashioned gas guzzlers aren't even electric? The sound of an EV engine is crisp and pleasant, unlike the noisy, sputtering tut-tut-tut of gas engines spewing foul smoke. By the way, I'm an overseas Finn. Bet you didn't know that. I have selective social anxiety, at least when it comes to gas stations. I really don't like seeing people or talking there. It's not exactly a place to make friends. Plus, the smell is awful. Charging stations, on the other hand, are different. You can charge at home. Plugging in and unplugging cables is one of life's greatest joys for me, and for you too, considering you plug in your phone to charge daily. Thanks to all these advantages of EVs, nearly all the downsides of gas-powered cars are wiped out. My attitude toward cars shifted from hate to love. I didn't change. The technology did. As of 2024, I've used electric bikes for 20 years and have never bought a gas-powered vehicle, regardless of the number of wheels. One side note, when it came to car shows, just hearing the term used to make me imagine the smell of gasoline. I felt as if I could actually smell it, and I wanted nothing to do with them. Aren't they just events filled with heavily made-up models? But now it's different. Car shows, Tesla and BYD EVs are there. I love it. I really want to check them out. Plus, you can spot some models without overly heavy makeup, looking great. If it were just models without cars, I'd go. If it were a pure car show without any people, I'd still go. That's genuine interest in cars. A sincere passion. In other words, a model-only event. I'd attend. A pure EV show? Absolutely. A hybrid car show? I'd take a look. But a gas-only car show? Never, unless I'm passing by to laugh at it. If there's an entrance fee for an EV show, I'd still go. Gas-powered cars. Fine for long-distance travel and use outside cities, but they're revolting in urban areas. 2 wheels, 3 wheels, 4 wheels, it doesn't matter. Trash. EVs. If there are shortcomings, hybrids are fine, but leave gas-only vehicles out of cities. In open areas like deserts or remote regions, they're acceptable. In big cities, gas-powered cars are everywhere, and it's laughable. It's like having a luxurious mansion littered with cigarette butts and tissues, with a diesel generator running in the middle of your grand living room for power. Sure, the floors are clean and the decor is fancy, but it's just as absurd. It's no different from a luxurious carriage where the horses leave droppings everywhere.